This video is the second part of the luxury fashion scandal series caused by the Chinese tariffs, an evolutionary continuation of what was discussed in the first part. It picks up where we left off, diving deeper into the where it's made scandal surrounding Chinese luxury production. So the question is, why does the Made in label cause such a stir on the internet? Why do these labels, like Made in France or Made in Italy, matter so much to certain people? Who are they within the system of luxury fashion brands? And what are they really searching for? When they buy into these names, what emotions do they attach to these products after saving for them and finally buying one? What kinds of stories do they build around them in their everyday lives? And how could they begin to move beyond these dreams? Because it seems like many luxury buyers try to comfort themselves with phrases like, "It's made in France, so it's fine," as if that magically justifies their purchase, both morally and financially. It's easy to understand why people react this way. They're not part of the wealthy elite. They're trying to enter a world that wasn't made for them. They've spent years saving up just to buy one special item, often a luxury bag. They hope it will give them a feeling of status, of elegance, of something truly special. And because of that, they want to believe that these products come from special places. In their minds, they build a dream, a picture-perfect story of how the bag was made. So when they say, "It was made in France," or "It was made in Italy," what they're really doing is protecting that dream. They imagine quiet little workshops, where respected artisans craft every item with love and care. But anyone with a bit of world knowledge knows, this isn't how billion-dollar luxury companies work, especially not the ones making $10 to $15 billion a year. That kind of money doesn't come from fairy tales. Back to the world of luxury handbags, let's set aside, for a moment, the fantasy of how we wish these products were made, and by whom, because then the real question becomes, what is the actual reality? And maybe it's time we talk about that. Whether these luxury items are made in Europe or not, one thing is clear: the people making them are not living glamorous lives. Sure, European workers may have slightly better conditions than the thousands of hidden, exploited garment workers in India or China, but just barely. So then, does it really matter where it was made? Is exploitation somehow more acceptable when it happens in a French workshop? Why? If anonymous seamstresses are sewing overpriced luxury bags in France instead of China, why does that make some buyers feel more comfortable? This video is about facing what many don't want to say aloud. A Made in France label doesn't justify anything. It just sounds fancier. If someone still wants to believe that these luxury products are made by a few well-dressed artisans in a sunny workshop, sipping champagne and humming, that's a cute fantasy. The workers sewing clothes and accessories for the runway collections, the artisans and ateliers, are who they might dream about, but the reality lies in hidden factories, in rural areas in France, and scattered across different parts of Europe, mass-producing products by the thousands. It's incredibly naive to think otherwise, and even more naive to claim that these luxury brands don't do that. That showing their factories just isn't part of their business culture. Of course, these French and Italian luxury brands are so good and pure that we don't need to talk about how they treat the people who make their products. Because, these brands are like angelic beings who would never exploit anyone, least of all a seamstress. And of course, they would never exploit their customers either. Yeah, sure. So, if someone is hoping luxury products are made in a cheerful, sunny workshop by skilled artisans, it's better to stop believing that. In practice, there's no real difference whether it's French, Chinese, Italian, or Indian garment workers, not artisans, sewing luxury goods for 10, 12 hours a day. The truth is, the fantasy ends where the profits begin. When many people want to buy expensive, exclusive products, it encourages companies to use cheap and unfair labor. This creates a cycle where making money becomes more important than treating workers with respect. In the world of the ultra-wealthy, exploitation is more than just a byproduct, it's an integral part of the system. The idea that wealth can be accumulated without someone else losing is a myth. For the rich to thrive, others must suffer, whether it's through underpaid labor, environmental degradation, or systemic inequality. The higher we climb, the more apparent this truth becomes. The wealthy are not here to help, they're here to win. The idea of giving back or doing good is often just a branding exercise. The reality is that billionaires are not looking out for anyone but themselves. They're not here to make life easier for the average person. They're here to extract as much as possible and protect their own interests. It's a cold, calculated world where success is defined by how much you can take, not how much you give. The higher the stakes, the harder the game becomes. Wealth, power, and influence don't come without a price, and that price is often paid by those who have no choice but to play in a system stacked against them. The rich don't care about the struggles, challenges, or needs of those beneath them. They care about maintaining their position and multiplying their fortunes. This is the uncomfortable reality of the business world. For someone to win, someone else has to lose, always. It's the harsh truth behind the glittering surface of luxury and success. In conclusion, the truth behind luxury products and their origins is far from the glamorous narrative people often buy into. While someone may want to believe that these products are made with care and integrity, the reality is often one of exploitation and hidden labor. The labels that promise quality and ethical production are often just that, labels, masking the harsh truths behind the profits. In the end, luxury products are part of the unfair systems that help the very rich get even richer. It's important to understand that these fantasies are created to keep the cycle going, not to stop it. If some people feel that luxury brands are more ethical, it can be explained by the fact that their brand image and communication strategies are different. However, both luxury and high street industries fundamentally share unethical manufacturing and working conditions, which lie in the industry structure and business model. The main difference between the two lies more in the public image and the target audience, rather than the core operational structure. Both industries are deeply entangled in a system that prioritizes profit over the well-being of workers and the environment, highlighting that neither is exempt from the exploitation that drives their profits. In conclusion, the message is clear. Everyone should stick to what they can afford. Small steps are fine, but trying to jump ahead when you're not ready, that's just asking for trouble. Luxury items are for the super rich. Let's leave them to those who can actually pay for them easily. No further questions, no unnecessary justifications. So as we come to the end of this chapter, one question remains. If one tariff can expose this much, what else might follow? Because if a single policy shift can shake the foundations of luxury, then maybe the image was never that solid to begin with. And maybe this is only the beginning.